You are now listening to the Be Your Own #LoveGoals podcast with Mo Ari
and Tiffany.
We just want you to remember that every person, regardless of identity, wants these three things: belonging, authenticity, and love.
And after a decade of partnership, we've learned to co-create these things and so much more.
So from wherever you're listening, we're going to go on a journey of becoming our own #LoveGoals. Now let's get into this episode. Hey, it's Mo Ari
and Tiffany,
and this is the Be Your Own Love Goals podcast. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank y'all.
We start that episode the same way every time, and it never gets old.
Never.
But we are so excited because we have Jamilla and Que on our podcast today.
I am so excited.
We told Jamilla and Que that they are Black queer celebrities, and we are just excited to be talking to them. And we'll read a really quick bio about them, and then we'll get right into our episode. So Jamilla and Que's bio reads: we are a 2-mom family living in Atlanta, Georgia, spreading awareness and understanding through visual storytelling. We film vlogs of our daily life to show the normalcy of lesbian relationships. We both took turns carrying our now 6-year-old daughter, Harper, and 3-year-old Holland. Que is a masculine presenting woman who hopes to dispel the stigma around masculine women and childbearing. Jamilla is a foodie, pop culture commentator, and a lover of all things beauty. Together, we hope that our marriage and display of motherhood helps pave the way for younger generations and couples through our vlogs and displays of our day-to-day challenges. They are already doing this amazing work that they hope that they are doing. They are already paving the way for more and more couples to just be their own love goals. So without further ado, let's talk to Jamilla and Que.
Yay.
I love that rhymes. Let's get into this episode.
We are so happy to have Jamilla and Que on the Be Your Own Love Goals podcast today. How are y'all?
Good. How are y'all?
Oh, we are so happy. I'm honored that you all are here. Definitely, we are. Before we knew you all now in real life, we were definitely fans of your work, your channel, and your family. So we've been getting to see your journey for a long time. When me and Tiffany were kind of figuring out our queerness, and really exploring identity, we didn't know a lot of other Black couples in Chicago where we were living. So we had to be on YouTube looking for people. I would say that you all were some of the first and only on YouTube sharing your stories at the time. It was,
And you all were in heavy rotation. I was like, okay, we have some similarities. Like, I can see a future living, and watching you all. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
So we are just gonna hop right in. We like to start at the end, and so what we call that segment of our podcast is the moral of the story. So we want to know, our viewers want to know, what is the moral of your story as a couple or individually? What's the moral? What do you want us to know?
I think touching on talking about YouTube and being a representation, what has been the moral of our story, I believe, is that you could do it your own way. We are raised to believe that there's a certain path, even in life. College, graduate, married, kids, boom, boom, boom. At a certain age, you're supposed to have it together. Even though when we were young, we looked around and you think about all the adults in our lives, they didn't have it together. But that was like the thought of that. So growing up and growing together, what has been a reoccurring thought is that we've been able to create our own life our way and really highlight what makes us happy.
Wow, we love that.
We love it.
Yeah. Que, what about you? You feeling, does that feel like the same moral? You got a spin on that?
No, I agree with her on that 100%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. I love that. Essentially, be your own love goals, everybody. You heard it from Jamilla herself.
Yes.
Yeah, you can do it your way. I think we do get all of these messages about who we're supposed to be from the very beginning, who you're supposed to love, where you're supposed to go. We get this very clear line, and when it doesn't work, it feels like everything breaks down. And there's beauty in that, because I think especially for queer people, we've had to go about figuring out all of these typical institutions like marriage and other things, how we're going to do that in a way that really honors us, from like how we have children to where we decide to live. Everything is a conversation. There's beauty in that. It becomes more intentional when we have conversations. So I love that. I'm very aligned with that.
No, absolutely. We started Be Your Own Love Goes This podcast because there wasn't a blueprint.
Yeah.
And honestly, no one else has the blueprint for your relationship or your life but you. And so having, feeling empowered to be able to go create the relationship you want, the love you want, the energy that you want to spread into the world is so important to us. And so we just really appreciate you all being so transparent about your journey all of these years. So thank you again.
Yay. Okay, we'll stop
Thank you.
fangirling y'all and get into these questions.
You're making me shy. I'm getting shy.
Well, that's good, because you all really have had a lasting impact. We cry openly on the podcast. I'm
All
like,
the time.
I did not think I was going to do that today, but I can remember. Okay.
Don't do it. Don't. Oh my God. Oh my goodness.
I can remember what it was like to start transitioning, and I was like very femme before I was transitioning. So just even Q, you as like a masculine person being so open about your journey. I didn't grow up in a world where queer people were visible. So even any iteration of masculinity wasn't accessible to me. It was like, you're either a woman or you're a man. So people being gender queer in the sense that you're embodying masculinity as a woman, like that just wasn't accessible. So I remember looking at your early videos, the two of you all together, and being like, love is possible and you get to do it your own way.
Yep.
So I think the moral of your story is just so beautiful. And I can't help but know how many people, even beyond me, are impacted by you all having the courage to share your journey. And I have to say that as the tone for this episode, because you're really leaving a legacy of love as you continue to just show up as yourselves and invite other people on that journey. So I guess the fangirling will not stop through this whole episode.
No, that was beautiful. My God. Oh my goodness.
But you're making me feel like I'm living in my purpose, because to your point of it all, like I didn't see like many same-sex marriages, like, so a lot of our goals had to be created as we're going. There weren't like there was a couple of masculine people, maybe two, that got pregnant, that I could look at and watch, but it wasn't many. It was probably just like a handful of us, that were on YouTube showing it. So, I was just going through it, and I appreciate the support, because, like I didn't have like a direction to go in. I just kind of was just living my life and just sharing as I'm going.
Yeah. And I know that takes like a lot of courage. For you, it sounded like it was like, I'm just living my life. And so and I love that you've been doing that in such an embodied way, the both of you all together. It does, though. I mean, I know Tiffany has all these questions, because I'm curious for you all.
Go ahead.
How you all got started. What made you decide to start a YouTube channel so many years ago? Actually, tell us how long it's been.
Yeah.
I'll let Jamilla start, because she put me onto YouTube. I knew nothing about it.
Oh, wow.
I was just somewhere under a rock. Okay. She taught me everything about social media, everything.
I want to say, okay, so next year makes 10 years on YouTube.
Wow.
Crazy.
Wow.
Which is crazy to think about. Even rewatching some of our old videos, it's like looking at people you don't even know. Who are you? Who are these people?
Who are these babies?
But I was into YouTube, I would say very early on, like in college. I was on the natural hair movement on YouTube. So I was very much into it, tapped in. And then I graduate, I'm 22. after graduating college, I meet Q, and we just have this kind of whirlwind affair relationship. And
I love it.
And she was the first woman that I dated. Not the first woman I was ever attracted to. I never referred to myself as bisexual. Bisexual never landed with me, but I know now, I believe I'm demisexual. So I'm more into someone's like energy and how they present themselves and their personality.
Right.
So when she proposed to me, or even before that, even when I came out, there just weren't a lot of examples at the time. There wasn't anything I could immerse myself in. And so then when we got engaged, I wanted to be all into the wedding world. You have all these magazines, all these websites, and you see these beautiful weddings, but none of them were of two Black women. And that's what I wanted to see. And even after our wedding, I was submitting our pictures to these websites, and only one would publish.
Wow. I did not realize that.
It was a good one, though.
It was a good one.
It was a big one.
It was good, but the message was, "This is so cute. That's nice."
Wow.
And that really hurt my feelings. And so it was really important to me to really get on YouTube, because we saw there were couples out there, but we wanted to talk about different conversations. We didn't just want to show what we were going through. We wanted to have those tough conversations about being in relationships. When you get married, at what point do you share finances? How do you go about having a baby? And so we really wanted to have these in-depth conversations as we were figuring it out.
Wow. See, we didn't realize at the time that you were going through all of the things. I remember looking at your wedding videos, different things, and you had already had a larger following on YouTube at this point when you got married, and that you were still experiencing these challenges, and marriage equality is legal, like all of these things. We're thinking the world is shifting, but you're still encountering challenges with visibility and who wants to really honor and make visible your relationship. Wow.
The bravery and the courage that you all had to have to honestly take up this mantle is just so admirable too, for you to say, like, I don't want another person to experience not having these resources, not having, visible people that they can see and say, oh, I can get married and I can have a beautiful wedding and love a woman and it'd be just fine. So I think your bravery really speaks to the foundation of your relationship, just even you all as a unit. And so for you to not have any idea about YouTube or social media, and Jamilla's like, hey, I think we should do this, and you like hop on, like that's beautiful. And I wonder, did you have, or did either of you have any resistance to sharing your story or being transparent? Like, how has it evolved with, how much you show up or how transparent you are or what you disclose or maybe what you choose to keep close to yourselves?
You want to take that?
I think for me, what I've learned along the way, especially when you see couples who shared so much of themselves and they're no longer together, what has always been important for us is that we don't put the social media first. It's our relationship first. So if someone doesn't feel like recording, if this is like a topic that's interesting, but we're not ready to talk about, even when we've talked about some obstacles we experienced in our marriage, by the time we talk about them openly to a camera, it's maybe a year or two behind us. So we're talking about different people. Because if you talk about an open argument and we're still in our feels, then you're opening up yourself to comments. Negativity. Correct. So now we do have we're very more thoughtful in knowing the information that we put out there, because people are going to have their own opinions. They're going to interpret your message any way that they want to interpret, and we have no control over that.
What, and so for you all, as your channel has grown, as you all have grown in your relationship, as you've become parents, and you just evolved in many iterations. I hear you saying like it's different people when you look back at the past. When you think about the the primary challenges you've experienced over time, let's say externally, not necessarily between the two of you all, but what would you say has been a typical challenge, or like one of the more consistent challenges you've had externally? So that could be like with the comments you're saying, or it could be with, community relationships as an influencer couple, like whatever the thing is. What would you say, maybe to somebody who's looking to do what you've been doing for a long time? What are the challenges to look out for?
I think for me, I know there was one point, maybe 3 years ago, like I don't know, we went viral in the wrong algorithm, and it was just like the comments were like, it almost made me feel like I was going to be done with social media. I think I took a hard break, but I don't think it was enough for everyone to know that I was on a break. But like, I just then felt like I had to protect my family, because like the threats came for like my kids and stuff like that. So, it can get real ugly, like real ugly, but you have to have the support system, and you have to know your why are you doing this in the first place. And that's what helped me bounce back. Because I always go back to my pregnancy. I was on bed rest and I wanted to watch YouTube. But I didn't have those couples that look like me and my wife to go off of. It was just only a few. So again, like, so now we're here. We have put out so much content. If there's someone in our shoes now, they could go in a rabbit hole and, see what you can go through. They can see relatability in our videos. So for me, after that negative impact, I had to regroup and realize like what's my overall purpose. So I had to figure out how to get back out there. I had to learn how to disable comments and stuff like that and keep it moving. Keep it moving.
That's a word. That's like very helpful. I started experiencing more negativity. I was like, I've been trans for 5-6 years at this point, and I started just getting like negativity in that moment, because it's like now I'm in newspapers and different things like that, and it was definitely like it hit me. And I think I definitely retreated a bit. Like I was like, Tiffany, you can manage my social media. I do not. I do not want to deal.
You can roll over to your phone like 3 a.m. in the morning. You look, you just on a little bathroom break, and it's the comments. Like then you're up. You're like your brain is tormented. Like you're upset. Your pressure's rising. It's like these evil people. Like what are you doing? So you have to step away. Like you have to cut those comments off. You just have to get to a point where you just know, like, you just can't respond to everything. You just start using the features that these platforms give you to block out certain words and things like that. You have to use these things. It makes a difference.
Thank you for that advice. I think, I appreciate you saying out loud, like, you don't have to comment on everything, because I think in the beginning I wanted to comment, but I was realizing I'm tying my emotional energy to that. And so then I'm going to start looking for that, or, being so engaged with it. And these people don't know anything about me. They don't know me. And I am tying some emotional energy to that. And it was impacting my relationship with social media. And I know for many people it could. Imagine, absolutely. I'm hearing you saying like you have the content out there now that people can go look at. We actually were talking to Sam and Pace in a episode that should come out before this one. And Pace is pregnant, and she was saying how now she has examples, and she listed you as one of the examples that she has, that she can go see support, for her journey, and how people have been negative. So I know that there are plenty of other people who are experiencing this negativity and probably can use like these examples. So I appreciate you saying that, and how to navigate it if somebody does want to step up, be an example. This is how we can navigate those challenges.
Absolutely.
I think it's one thing, for you all, you're a family, you're presenting as a family, you have children, and it's one thing for people to bully you and comment on you and talk about you as a person. I can imagine the inner mama bear inside of you when there's anything remotely related to your kids. Like, how do y'all handle that? What, do you go off on people? Do you choose to be petty some days? Like, what? What do you do? Because, we are very cognizant even of what we share, like not sharing our location when we're actively at a place. There's a lot of safety concerns and things like that. And we're not like you know, we don't have a YouTube channel where we vlog and things like you all do. So I'm just wondering, like, for your kids, how do you protect them?
Yeah, that's
but
good.
Also show up as a family in this space?
I think thinking about responding to comments, like when something's negative, I think about what kind of day that I want to have. So I know if someone responds something crazy and it hits me, it hits something in me, I know if I respond back to them, I'm going to be thinking about it. And every notification on my phone, oh, what did you say back? Oh, I'm going to get you. Oh, I got to think of something clever. I don't like that energy. That energy feels chaotic to me. And then I also know I'm going to pass that on either to my wife or my kids. And I only like passing on peace. Because that's something my response, I'm in full control of. If I'm in traffic or someone cuts me off, I can't control that energy. But responding back to someone, I can control. And so I think that's probably one reason, not that we're so hesitant, but that vlogging in long form had started becoming a little difficult because people would have comments. Well, that's how Jamilla feels about Harper. You cannot watch an edited video and decipher how I feel about my own child. Thankfully, we've been blessed to still remain a little niche. So we don't get a lot of negative comments unless something goes viral. When something goes viral, I won't even read those comments anymore. And it's honestly a self-control you have to have that you're just like, I'm gonna just take care of the first couple positive ones because our community is gonna show it first. Our community is gonna comment first. I can knock those out and make sure I recognize those names. Okay, hey girl, thank you. It's good to see you. I hope the kids are good. When it starts getting negative and spiraling, I'm out.
Thank you for saying that. That is a really great blueprint for navigating like more and more exposure and just you can't control the corners of the internet that our the content shows up in. And I love that you said self-control. It's hitting it. You all sound like people very much have gone to therapy, have done so much internal work.
Currently
actively in therapy. Yes.
Yesterday.
Yes. But I did want to touch on the, like, because you know, like you said, sharing locations and being out. Because I'm just thinking of like in the airport. Recently I'm traveling with Harper and she's a superstar. You know what I'm saying? So like I think it starts at home, teaching Harper like how to be aware of her surroundings, what a stranger is, like just letting because she doesn't understand when people are saying like, oh hey Harper, and like speaking to her, but like just making sure in those instances where maybe she's with her grandparents or whatever, like make sure you're aware of your surroundings. Because girl, you popping in these streets, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I think she knows she's popping. She definitely knows she's popping. So that's a balance too, because I had to have that reckoning of, I share a lot of personal and transparent thoughts. There's a very much disconnect, right? Like I think I'm just writing into Tumblr. Nobody's reading it. I forget people who actually read it, watch it. And so I'm walking around knowing that people know personal things about me and they've developed a personal relationship with me, but I don't know that much about them.
Absolutely.
Wow,
that was a connection I had to make, because when I would see people out in public, I'm from Atlanta. Like I grew up in Kennesaw, but I'm also very Atlanta. When I move and I'm with my kids, I'm not like, oh, hey, hi, this is nice. In and out. Like they taking cars. Let me get my babies in. So I had to balance out, because people would come up to me and talk to me. But if you first get close to me, I'm thinking,
right,
what are you
like,
doing?
Let me grab my kids. Like you about to run up on me.
So it was a balance that I had to make, that I had to say, like, I'm on guard and it's okay to be on guard, but I've shared so much of myself that people have made personal connections with that content and therefore with me. And that's the balance I had to make. And that's what I'm also teaching Harper, because she'll say things like, oh yeah, you know, my friend's mom said she watched us on YouTube. Well, that's good. That's fine and dandy, but you are still a person in real life and you have feelings and emotions. So I'm in a balance where I want to remain humble. I do want to pop my shit a little bit, but I also want to be very grounded. I'll use the word grounded. I just want to be very always remain in real life.
Yeah. I mean, you were about to say something?
No, go ahead.
Okay, I'm just sitting with like,
no,
okay.
I'm feeling all of it here. Go ahead.
Because I'm just even the scenario of somebody saying Harper's name and Harper could possibly think they know her, right? And I'm glad she has the awareness and she's older now. She can like be like, well, I don't know you. Like she can make that distinction. So you all have really thought through how to navigate being public as parents and really allow your family to be visible while protecting your family. Was that a moment for you all where you realized, I guess we probably have transcended past YouTube? We are now like very recognizable in Atlanta. Or did that moment come later or before that?
That's a great question.
You know when the moment happened.
When?
We were in DC.
Oh, at the museum?
We were at the
Human Rights Museum.
And then we were going through the security line and someone called our name.
Oh, wow.
And they were screaming.
And my first thought is, did we go to high school together?
Right, yeah, you not think that's what you're thinking. And then they're like, I watch you guys on YouTube. We're like, wait, what?
And it's still shocking. Like when people are like, hey, Jamilla, I watch you. I'm like, you watch me? So it's still a balance that continues. But my biggest one was when I worked downtown and my job was connected to a couple of hotels and a mall. So I would maybe be with my manager or a team meeting, walking to and from lunch, and people would want to talk to me about my YouTube channel. And I'm like, I'm living two different lives. I'm at work. I'm with my manager. We got to keep this on the low. So I had to balance those two versions of myself.
Yeah. Wow, I'm glad you said that.
Yeah. Wow. Like I can't imagine what it's like to find that balance. And it probably like teeters and totters, like to know like, okay, I just want to have a regular day at the mall sometimes. And like, while it's beautiful to know that you are this representation and that people do see you and they, feel like they have a connection, like cousins, right? Y'all invite everyone to feel like they're your cousins. And sometimes you probably are just like, I just want to go in here to Sephora and get my stuff.
I think about it most on like my ugly days. Like I just want to be ugly in peace. I don't want nobody to see me.
Yeah.
I'm in my sweatpants. I'm in a old shirt. I just want to be in and out.
Yeah. So, outside of social media and YouTube, how do you all replenish, right? Because social media can be a lot. I know a lot of people experience burnout from it. Like, how do you stay connected as a couple? And then how do you like use your community to be able to stay grounded, like you mentioned, Jamilla? Because I can imagine you can only put yourselves out there in your most authentic way by having this level of groundedness within yourself and within your relationship.
Yeah.
Like you guys mentioned, first thing, we both are in therapy.
Yeah.
First and foremost.
Love
we
that.
both do our individual therapy.
I want to say that, I know I mentioned it before, that we put our relationship first. And I don't know a better way to say it, but there's a formula that I think to be successful on social media, and we've never followed that formula. Because we've never been one to be super consistent. We're going to put out a video every single week, a YouTube video every single week with content every single day on TikTok. We're going to follow every single trend. We're going to do XYZ. It's always, no, we can't. That's not going to happen. So it's always, I would love to be in a space where we plan out content months in advance, but it's really like a checking in. How are you feeling this week? How is work for you this week? How is your load? How are you feeling about motherhood this week? Where can we pull from organically and authentically to talk about? And if we don't have it this week, we just don't have it.
Yeah.
We also implemented like weekends where, you just, I'll keep the kids. You want to do a staycation or you want to go out of town. We make sure that we're making that space. Maybe like, I think we were doing it often last year, maybe once a quarter, each of us would just go, if you want to go visit your friend or a staycation, just giving that space to say, hey, you need a break, go take a break. You know what I'm saying? And then like now we're trying to find a balance with having a consistent babysitter so we can at least go on dates once a month, because that does get tricky with having kids and creating content. Like,
Baby.
we're moms together, we're wives together, we work together, we have a bit like you're always together. So you have to find time to have those fun times together where like, let's just forget everything and just act like, we were prior to having kids. And those are the best nights. Those are the best nights with my old lady not acting like an old lady.
Aww.
I love
you're 10 years older than me, right?
Girl, please.
You're 10 years older than me.
Girl, please.
I ain't never been no old lady.
The lies you tell.
I ain't never been that. I just like to be in my bed by 9.
Oh my gosh. That's
I
Tiffany.
love it. That is so mean.
She can sleep at the club, which is the whole thing.
Yeah. I will fall asleep anywhere. Yeah.
That is crazy.
But yeah, I think really like setting up. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say we got a special glimpse into each of your personalities at the Parent Prize Summit last year for X-Hood. So we saw like that fun, outgoing live.
Yeah, she was really fun during X-Hood.
Yeah, you all love to dance, just have a good time. Wild is good. I'm a Leo too, so when I want to be extroverted, I can be extroverted. When I'm introverted, I'm like over here.
One thing about Leos, they gonna always announce they Leos, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
And will.
Oh my gosh. I love that you all said that. I think one thing that we always talk about on the podcast or in our relationship is how we built a friendship before anything else. And I think one thing that I've often been able to see in you all's content over time is that you all truly like each other and are friends. And I think that that's a thing I dare say that I think it's a challenge for a lot of people in long-term relationship that they might not actually be friends with one another. And I think, what you're describing is this level of friendship that allows for you all to stay grounded and check in and have those difficult conversations or say, we're not doing that this week, or we need a break. We need a babysitter. We just need to focus on us and our relationship. So we more than anything, always want to remain friends. And I think that that does help you to stay grounded over time. And I honestly feel like at the end of the day, I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to tell Mo about what happened during the day. And I can feel that from you all too. So I can totally relate to that being a really helpful tool in staying grounded.
Yeah. How did you all create that? Like, or what would you say was the foundation of your friendship? So when you got together, were you all friends first, or did you know that you all liked each other in the beginning? And if so, like, how did you all create this friendship?
And is it two different stories?
It was not a friendship. She was trying to get me.
I was trying to see what it was about.
She was not trying to be my friend. And it took me a long time to know that she wasn't trying to be my friend. Like, I was like saying, oh, let's go get our nails and stuff done. She like, what? Like, girl, what?
What did that mouth do?
That's a word.
That's the one.
What's going on? I heard it's interesting over here. Let me see what this is like.
No, we didn't start off as friends. So I think our friendship developed throughout the year of like getting to know each other, like, and just we found those spaces when it's like, hey, I need my best friend right now. I don't need my wife. Like, I just, need, you know how to separate the two and just communicate that. Like right now, I just need my friend to show up. I need you to put on your friend hat for a second and like, let's just talk about this real quick.
And so then the real story is we were back and forth when we were breaking up to make up, because she would want to break up and then she'd want to be friends when we would break up. And I'm like, I'm not trying to be your friend. We were dating and now we got to be friends. But I really think that breakup to make it, while I wouldn't recommend it, we were able to build on different types of relationships and get to know each other in different ways. And then we realized that we were having some very real communication breakdowns where we weren't competing with one another, but we were honestly, I think, competing with the ghost of ex's past.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Do it.
Like, I want to be better than what you dealt with. Well, I want to be better than what you dealt with. but then we're talking at each other and not to each other. So I think when we figured that out, after we figured that out and we really got serious about dating and being with one another, after that it was done.
Right.
Yeah. That, I mean, what helped you realize that? Was it just tell us, what was the secret to getting on the trajectory to just being like, we together after the breakup to makeup? How did y'all figure that out?
I think more so it was me, because I'm surprised she said we, because I thought she was going to, because she said she was always ready. She was just waiting on me.
I was trying to be nice.
But me, it was like, it was just like, you know, Jamilla always says, like, I was the first person to ask her, you know, what do you need to take care of you, and so on and so forth. And I, you know, I guess she felt a sense of me taking care of her, but she was like helping me grow as a person. Like, I give Jamilla a lot of credit, like, to the person I am today. Like, you know, we've been together, we've been dating almost 15 years. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a long time. Like, but I think for me, I knew the change of, like, because I've dated since high school. So I was a notorious dater. And
you're trying to say you dated a lot.
No one ever could keep my attention longer than a year.
Because you dated a lot of women as well.
Correct. So no one can keep my attention. So I'm just like trying to figure out, why does this person keep lingering around? Like, why is there this hold on my heart? And like, when I think about this person not being in my life, it would almost give me the sadness of grieving, even though she was still in my life. So I knew that's like, this is something I have to nurture and keep, because I'm already feeling like, I could just think if we were to part, that I can feel the sadness, that, you know, this is something that I want to keep in my life, so I don't have to feel those feels.
Wow.
So once she was on board, I was like, all right, well then, girl, I'm gonna lock this down. We're gonna get married, get these kids. So now she gotta stick with me. Okay.
Yeah.
I love it.
Wow. Thank you for the transparency.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that is, I really appreciate that, because I think you all have this commitment to not just showing the highlight reel, and being so transparent about what it takes to become a we. We've had a couple episodes about this, but you brought up something that's really important in this transition from me to we call it. It's not immediate. So for some people, they feel like it happens once you get married, like it's supposed to be just this clicking. Sometimes it's in the beginning of the relationship, but what ultimately you're identifying is that it's intentional. You had to basically get to the place where you're like, there is something special about this relationship, and I want to invest. You made a choice. You leaned in. The both of you all leaned in, and you're like, we're on. And you just been on ever since. And that shift is so significant. Really quick, I guess I want to know about what that shift was into parenthood. When you go from like we to like now it's all of us. Like how
everybody.
I know it's everybody. How did it happen automatically as you were you all intentional, I should say, in the birthing process? And like, did you know ahead of time, okay, this is going to be another shift, or did that come after Harper gets here? There's a whole shift now. It's three of us. Like, what is this like for you all?
I'll let you talk about your shift first.
I was thinking about it because we've had the unique experience, and unique maybe outside of our community, but more and more our community's doing it, where you have couples taking turns carrying. And so when Q was pregnant, this was something I had not experienced. I had never been pregnant before. I was on my corporate. I wanted to climb the ladder. When we were talking about baby, I heard finances. That's what I heard. So I heard I need to get on my Zoom. I need to get this money. And that was my focus. So after Harper is here and we're both Q's in postpartum.
So that's when you felt the shift, once Harper got there, because I was already feeling the shift because I was pregnant. So, you know, everything I was doing had already changed, the way I eat, you know, how I move, sleep. So I already felt my shift. But to hear what you're saying, that you didn't necessarily feel it until Harper was here after birth.
100%. And I think that's a disconnect that I see a lot of couples, especially like heterosexual couples, where that particular person may never carry. So they're never going to see the other side of things. So it wasn't until Harper actually came that I realized, like, oh, my whole life is about to change. Whereas your whole life, she had already gotten used to it 9 months. You were already used to it. And I'm like, oh. So I remember a very specific argument where we were looking for the house. And we had found a house that we thought that we wanted to move. We would have to sell our current home to get into this home. And then Q goes off. True Gemini fashion. If we sell this house, where are me and my baby going to live? Because in my head, I think very logically. I'm thinking, you told me you wanted a new house. We needed a bigger space. We needed a safer neighborhood. We're thinking about schools. We're fully transitioning. So I'm thinking logically, sell a house, get apartment, my mom, wherever, and then move into a new house. For her, she was thinking very in the details, because I'm big picture and then she's detailed. Very much in the pictures. If I sell today, I need to know tomorrow where me and my baby going. And I think that was when the shift came, where I realized, like, our thinking is a little different and we have to balance and get on the same page. So it took me understanding where she was coming from, because she's in postpartum. I can't ask her to really compromise in that moment because she's already in the thick of so much stuff. I had to figure that out in my head. How can we all make this work?
And your level of empathy for what was going on for Q in that moment is like beautiful. And I think you're right. For a lot of heterosexual couples, this is a more of a challenge. Not to just generalize across gender, but I think that people we socialize so differently. I think I had, because I had a stint of my life existing as a woman, I had some empathy for Tiffany and Carrie, even though I don't plan to carry. It allowed me this insight, like, oh yeah, I'm saying this because I'm relating the whole time you're talking. Like, this was definitely our experience. The light bulb went off for me after Nova gets here, because I wasn't the carrying person at that time. And because I don't plan to carry, I know that my experience as a woman, having periods, doing other things prior to transitioning, helped me to be like, oh, this was a whole change for her body. This is like a whole, there's a lot that went into that. So I was able to grasp it. So if there's anybody that is in, any guys listening that are in a heterosexual relationship, like, really listen as like a non-caring person about what that shift to parenthood means for the relationship. Yeah, I just appreciate you all saying this out loud, what that shift was getting together and then after parenthood.
And I mean, we can totally relate to that. I think Q, like Jamilla said, I am a details person. Mo is such a big picture, like looking at the whole of the thing. And I'm just in the present moment of like experiencing this pain in my hand. Like, I just want to tell you about how this pregnancy is kicking my
okay.
But he did have this level of empathy that I think was really important. And I think for me, like, I had transitioned into like, okay, we're about to have this baby, but I didn't really see ourselves as a family until Nova got here. So that transition, like, it was like, okay, I'm aware I'm a mom and I'm carrying this baby, but to see ourselves as a family, that was once Nova got here. And so it just really speaks to how it's so many iterations of that me to we, like, from dating to being married to choosing to have children to all of these different things. And so I just love that you all, you know, have understood the evolution of that and like haven't strayed away from sharing what that looks like, because I think people need to know it doesn't look the same at every transition. Like, it's so different and it's okay for it to be different from each milestone or stage or evolution to the next.
And I know we're getting up on time, so we're gonna start shifting in a moment. But I really want to ask this question, because we've asked this question to Mylin and SK, and I think we asked this to Sam and Pace. We really want to know how, because we're trying to figure this out for ourselves. So we've been asking everybody how you decide to have another child. Like, what?
Ooh, that's the one.
What is the moment? Like, how do you know you're ready? We're really struggling with this. We know we want more children. We're like, how do you know when you're ready? And particularly having children post-pandemic. Like, what is that like for you all? What was that like to decide that? How did you know you were ready?
So I think initially I was like, we sticking to the goal. I
Yeah.
carrying, you carrying. I think Jamilla may have felt a little differently. And then, of course, because the girl's father's in their life, so we had a third party to come in. So this had to be a three-way decision. So not only Jamilla and I had to first within our household decide like, hey, are we ready? Because, Harper's getting a little older. So this may be a good time. She's showing a little bit of independence. And I think it's your turn, And I think Jamilla was kind of like, I'm like, girl, when we got married, you promised me that you was going to give me 2 babies.
I was one and done because Harper Avery has enough personality for 4 babies. We also had a high-risk pregnancy, a very crazy emergency C-section, a NICU baby, and then a colic baby. So I wasn't interested.
Yeah.
But me, I was like, I'm just like, hey, we did it once. We could do it again. So, eventually Jamilla got on board. I don't know if she got on board or she was just like, I'm taking one for the team.
No, I think I was threatened. You going to tell the truth?
So, we called.
I think I was threatened.
We called the girl's father. And, to me, I move off alignment. Like, to me, if it aligns, then, hey, we're on the right path. So, like you said, we are pre-pandemic. We're going right into the pandemic, and he lives abroad. So he's popping in town for 2 weeks. So it's just like, you want to go ahead and try now and then, try and it's successful, because I think maybe him and Jamilla were kind of in the same boat of like going back and forth. Should we do another baby or not? And me, I'm like, I don't know what y'all talking about, but I'm not gonna be the only one going through this. We going again.
I love
because Harper
it.
need a little playmate, and then eventually I even think he came around quicker than Jamilla, just saying like, hey, I think Harper and Holland, Harper needs a playmate, and this would be a good time. So and then like I said, it's all alignment, and then she got pregnant on the first time. She started sleeping a week later. I ain't never seen this girl take naps.
That pregnancy hit me quick. I knew I was pregnant. It hit me the very next day. I said, I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
What you're saying, please share the insight.
I was going to say also choosing to have another baby is also a financial decision. Because even thinking about now, how much we spend in school. And I remember my dad telling me, my dad was very specific, like, are you sure you don't want to wait? And I'm a Leo. I said what I said. I already made my decision. And with that first time, you pay that money for both of them to go to school. You're like, oh, this is what it is. So I just wanted to throw that out there too.
Yeah, it's like at a point you can remember when you lived off of what you pay for each of them to go to school. Like, you think back on it, it's like in our 20s, that money would have went far. Okay,
I would have been fly, man.
So, but I really appreciate you saying that out loud. How you made that decision and this piece about alignment. It's like, if it's right, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen when it's the time anyway. And so you attempting at the moment you did was like, if it's not meant to be, it's not going to happen.
Right. It's like, I would have gave her out. If it didn't align, I'd have been like, all right, we don't got to try again. Just try one time.
Wow. So you could try one time. Tiffany is afraid. We had our first kid in the pandemic, so I think that left a lot of.
I have a little PTSD. Oh my god! Like, I know I always felt like I wanted more than one kid, but I questioned everything about my desire to be a mother going through that during the pandemic. Like, I still have moments where I sit and think about it and it makes me sad or it makes me angry. Like, I legitimately have PTSD. But this is helpful to know. My therapist is always like, you've gone through it already. So you have different tools. It's never going to be like that again. And I'm like, okay, this is helpful. So I'm very much warm. I'm getting more to hot on the idea of it. But we definitely want more kids. I'm just trying to override that PTSD from that period.
It's like her first baby shower was like the drive-through baby shower, the first thing, so me not being able to be at all the appointments because of the restrictions on who could all be at the appointments. They didn't even know if they were going to let me in the hospital. You know, they had all of the, you all know.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we got a pandemic, baby. Yep.
Yeah. So that being the first time, it left that lasting impression. But it's like now we get the opportunity to do it real big, like live.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, it'll probably be sometime this year. We'll keep y'all posted.
We'll let y'all know.
Ooh, that's exciting. Yeah. That is exciting.
Yeah.
But we appreciate the advice. That's why we've been polling everybody. Like, how do y'all do that?
How do you know?
Yeah. So I'm wondering, you know, in thinking about what resources, what tools have helped you all along your journey, we do a thing called #LoveResources. And I'd like each of you to leave something that's been helpful to you in this, in your growth process. It could be a book, it could be a feature of YouTube, a program, it could be anything that you want to tell our audience about that has helped you be your own love goals.
That's a good question.
With each other.
It could be individually or with each other.
Not they stumped us.
I know. Can I get a repeat of
I mean, you all have kind of been sharing. You've been sharing a lot of tools and resources throughout the episode. So if you want to recall any of those,
I think our biggest thing, in that we have talked about so many times over the years, what's been important for us is a check-in. And the check-in that we do is like checking in, and you guys mentioned it on a friend level. I think what we don't talk enough about is the difference between friend and lovers is the respect factor. Because sometimes we lose the respect because I've had to put the dishes in the sink. I've had to wash your underwear, like snoring in my ear. That part, when you're just friends with someone, you don't have that insight into the other person. So sometimes when we sit down and we talk, this is a friend conversation. I'm not going to get offended. We had that conversation yesterday. What's some feedback? Can you give me some feedback about myself? Because I think about often, she knows me better than anyone else. She sees habits of mine that I'm not even consciously aware of. So she absolutely should be the person who I should trust to give me feedback with love. But I have to be receptive to receive it.
That is so helpful.
Thank you. Yeah. Beautiful. So a check-in.
Yeah. No, I'm sitting here thinking about that for myself. I'm like, Mo is literally the person who knows the most about me at this point in my life. Like, he's probably the person I should trust the most with feedback. So it's like, okay, that's a little humbling there. Okay.
Yeah, you helping me out by saying that. I wasn't gonna say anything. Somebody needs to hear it.
I think it has to be like on both ends though. Like Jamilla said, like she has to be receptive because, and then also my delivery matters. You know, because like there are a lot of times that I would give feedback and she would automatically be in a defense mode. But like yesterday was great. Therapy is working. You know, yesterday was great. Like my feedback for her was so good. She was like, "Oh, text that to me. I need to save that. I want to journal. Like text that to me." So I'm like, "Yes, I'm giving her what she needs."
Well, because I know that I can be very I don't want to say, and I don't know, Mo, if you go through this too, but it was very hard for me for a long time to admit when someone was wrong. It was hard to say, to admit when someone was right and I was wrong. So if someone said, "Hey, do you know that Saturn has 15 planets?" Yeah, I knew. You didn't know? Yeah. I knew that. I wouldn't have no idea. Be Googling. So for her, I had to give other people that power because it's people in my life who feel like they aren't important to me because I haven't communicated their importance. So it's important for me to let her know, I hear you. Thank you for that feedback. I'm going to sit with it.
Yeah. No, being a therapist has helped me 1,000% on like, I really believe I became a therapist because I needed to practice humility 10 hours a day, 50 minutes at a time with a lot of different people. So a lot of different people have helped me to just chill out. So I definitely hear you on this aspect of like how you both said different points in this episode, how you are a different person because of your relationship together. I cannot stress this enough. Like, whenever you see a really amazing couple that inspires you, you're often looking at the product of that love together. Yep. And I think so many times when people are having fantasies, for instance, about a person that's in a relationship, like, oh, they would be so good for me. It's like that whole person is married. That person you like is a product of that relationship. Yep. They would be so different with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
you're not gonna get the same person.
No.
It's no plug and
Don't
play
ever think you
will. No.
And so I appreciate you both saying that. Yes. This is growth. Yeah. So thank you.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah, that's such a beautiful resource. I'm really gonna take that in, because I am definitely, I can err on the side of defense. But there's an opportunity for me to have a level of humility and reception, because I am very much a know-it-all of sorts, but also like a perfectionist. So if you telling me you dislike this thing that I did, I'm like, why? Like, I know I had the best intentions, like, and so it definitely takes that level of humility. So I'm receiving all of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 100%. And then trust. Because sometimes when I hear criticism is so loud. So even if Q is just saying like, hey, so maybe in the morning, can you be a little like quieter? It sounds like you're in there bouncing things off the wall in the bathroom. You're waking me up. I hear you hate me and I suck. And so I had to internalize that and say like, yes. And so I had to trust her in knowing that feedback doesn't automatically mean I'm the worst person in the world. I've just completely messed up. It just is like, we all need a little tweaking. There's space for improvement always.
Yeah. And that's hard. Like, as Leos, we want to be the best. So the improvement piece is like, one, is a challenge. So it's like, all right, now I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna be the best. And then when I am the best, tell me I'm the best. So like, I love it.
Right.
Oh my God. These Leos.
Right.
A gift to the world.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. Thank you all so much for sharing. Are you ready for Truth or Truth? You want to tell the people why we call it Truth or Truth?
Yes, because back in the day, we would play a lot of games together. We absolutely love playing games to connect with one another. We still do it. But it would always be like Truth or Dare. But Tiffany's Truth and Dares can sometimes be a little wild, like we discussed prior to starting this episode. She would have me doing crazy. If we were in public, she'd be like, go dance in the middle of the room. I'm like, I'm not doing this. So it really becomes Truth or Truth, because I'm only saying truth. I'm not answering theirs with Tiffany. So that's why we call it that. Okay. It's probably a would you rather or a truth question.
Today we have a would you rather. It's a little spicy, not too spicy.
Okay.
Would you rather have disappointing sex every night for a full year, or great sex for one night out of the entire year?
Great sex for one night out of the entire year.
So I have questions. Can I have questions?
Yeah, sure.
Girl.
When we say disappointing, does that mean there's no ending? There's no
big O.
Yeah, there might not be a big O.
Oh no, I can't.
Exactly.
No. We're gonna have to go to that one night.
Yeah,
one night.
What about y'all?
I think I'm choosing that one night. I can't do the mediocre.
You're about to get on my nerves every night.
Wait, so great sex one night or sex at all one night?
I think it's great sex one night.
Okay, but we get to have other sex. I'll take the one night. The one night of great sex. The other ones can be mediocre. I'll be fine.
No, it's either or.
Wait, so that's the only time I can have sex though?
Yeah.
No, I don't want to wait a whole year.
So you rather every night with the disappointing sex?
See,
that's complicated. Oh.
Yeah, you're gonna be walking around with an attitude. Like, what was that? Like, what was that last night? You might have just said, never mind.
Wasted my time. And then I'm not gonna even want to cook for you. You want me to cook for you?
That's true.
You want me to raise your kids?
That's true. The disappointment probably adds to other relationship tension. Y'all are smart. I like the way y'all think. So yeah,
because you ain't gonna be able to walk hard after that. Like you can't do nothing wrong for the rest of the day. You don't already piss me off.
You're gonna be annoyed. Even how you eat your cereal. Why you eating your cereal like that?
Because now you annoyed. I got it. Yeah, y'all right. I'm going with y'all response. The great sex,
that one.
Great sex one night. That's very smart.
It better be great, like
hours on hours, right?
That's true.
If you have to wait 364 days, yes.
You gotta hang off the ceiling.
Yeah.
You know, swing.
I'm not flexible.
They gotta swing.
Okay, well I might do a little swing.
A little swing
action. I love it.
We have one and we have never used it.
It's still in the box.
Oh my God.
Go dust that thing off. Go read the instructions.
We might. Maybe
I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's so funny. I love you all. You all are so live. So fun to talk to. I absolutely am so grateful for you all being on the podcast and wrapping up the podcast today. We just want to make sure that we leave our audience with a way to connect with you. And so this is the opportunity for you to tell our audience where to follow you, any type of resource or offering that you have that you want them to purchase or connect with you on. Let them know.
Well, you can find us at Jamilla and Que everywhere.
Yeah.
YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, everywhere.
Wow.
And I'm working on a meet and greet. Maybe we phrase it like a party. Like I'm working on like a little intimate get together.
Right. Nice.
I'm thinking July right now, but I'm excited about that. So I'm for sure going to do it in Atlanta. I haven't confirmed the city, so that's like this is confirmation. We're doing it in Atlanta. I want to see you guys there.
Absolutely. Yes. So make sure y'all get the date so you can get a sitter.
Yes,
we will be there.
We'll be there.
Oh, I love it. So then they can, follow you on all your channels and keep up to date on that. Is there a name that they should look out for on the meet and greet, or you'll post about it as a meet and greet?
I don't know. We're still working on the name. I just know I'm committed to doing it because we've been asked for so long just to create something. So I'm excited about doing that. I just want to be sure it's intimate, it's positive, and it's intentional.
Okay. Yeah. And you already said it here, so now you got to do it for real.
I love it. Yeah.
I was thinking. I know.
Yeah. I was feeling something live for you all, like a live something, not necessarily a show, but definitely something in person. So I'm glad you said that and that's already coming. I think it's going to be like really amazing, definitely very successful. And if you all heard it from Jamilla and Que, follow them, stay connected. If you don't already follow them, probably very likely anybody listening to this does, because again, you all were some of the first to do this. So we're really grateful for you all coming on the show, sharing love, your wisdom. And Tiffany, is there anything you want to say in close for the episode?
I just want to say thank you all. Like we said earlier, you all have been such an inspiration. Keep showing up. Keep taking breaks, keep allowing yourself grace, and just always remember that if you all never put out another piece of content, what the legacy that you have created is like enough. So you're just going above and beyond at this point. Like you don't have to release another piece of content. So I just want you to feel that because it's so powerful, and I personally have benefited from your level of transparency. So thank you so much.
Yes.
Ooh, that made me emotional. That was very deep. Thank you. Oh my God. Wow. I will sit with that and receive that because I have a hard time sitting with things. I kind of move on to the next. So I'm going to sit with that. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for everybody listening. This has been Be Your Own Love Goals with Mo Ari
and Tiffany.
Have a great day and be well.
Bye.
Thank y'all.
If you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. Video episodes are on YouTube and Spotify.
If you want your question included in an upcoming episode, feel free to reach out to us on Instagram at Be Your Own Love Goals or check out our website at lovegoalspodcast.com. We look forward to hearing from you soon. Bye.